Welcome back, folks. In today's video, I'll continue talking about the probability, and we will try and understand the probability with the very simple example. So I'm gonna, this is me. I'm gonna toss a coin and toss a coin three times. Three times. Okay, before I jump into the three times, I'll try and do it one time. And I toss a coin. What is the probability of getting heads? So you're gonna say the probability of getting heads is 1/2. Now I'm gonna make it a little more complicated. I'm gonna say what is the probability of getting the uh, two heads when I toss the coin twice? Means what is the probability of getting head and head when I'm gonna toss the coin two times? Okay, so that will be, so let's see how can I solve this. So what are the possible outcomes? I have to look into that. First of all, the first, when I'm going to toss a coin, it can be head, it can be a tail. Then this was the first event when I toss the coin for the first time. Then I'm going to again toss the coin. I can get a head or I can get a tail, and after tail I can get a head, I can get a tail. So the possible number of outcomes are, let me change the pencil color so that I can see it carefully, easily. So head head, head tail, tail head, tail tail. So the possible number of outcomes are head head, head tail, tail head, and tail tail. So these are the four possible outcomes. And what is the probability of getting a head and head? That is 1/4. Same way I can ask you what is the probability of getting the head and tail. That'll be equal to 1 over 4. But again, in this one, the order is maintained. I can put it this way: what is the probability of getting one head and one tail? That will be equal to 2 over 4. Again, listen me carefully. If I say to you what is the probability of getting a head and then a tail, then that is 1 over 4, because that is this one. But if I say, ask you that what is the probability of getting one head and one tail, then in this one you're getting one head and one tail. Here you're getting one head and one tail also. So the probability of getting one head and one tail is 2 over 4. So depending upon the question, you need to look into the answer. Now let's make it a little more complicated. Same question. So I'm gonna toss the coin three times. So what is the probability of getting two heads and a tail when I'm gonna toss the same coin three times? So let's see what are the possible outcomes in this cases. So you can, first event is you can get a head and you can get a tail. Then after getting a head, you can get another head, or you can get a tail. And from tail you can get a head, and then you can get a tail. After this is the second one, and then after this there is the third one also. So after a head I can get a head, I can get a tail, and then this tail I can get a head, and then I can get a tail, and this head I can get a head, I can get a tail. From this tail I can get a uh, head, or I can get a tail. So the number of possible outcomes, let's say, what are the possible outcomes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's write them down. Head, head, head. The second one is head, head, tail. The third one is head, tail, head. Fourth one is head, tail, tail. And fifth one is tail, head, head. Then tail, head, tail. Then tail, tail, head. And then tail, tail, tail. So these are the 8 possible outcomes we have. Now, out of these 8 outcomes, what is the desired outcome? That is the two head and a tail. So two head and a tail, and then two head and a tail, two head and a tail. So this will be 3 over 8. So probability of getting two head and a tail, one tail, is 3 over 8. So that's how you can solve a question uh, based on the classical approach. Now, this is also called drawing a tree. for the given question, which helps us to make the question a little easier. Now